Fabulous. All right, I'm going to start our recording here so we don't lose any of this. Just wait for the YouTube first. All right, I'm going to start our recording here so we don't lose. That's me talking to myself. Okay, beautiful. Here's our recording. Okay, official welcome everyone to the BIG OracleFest Online. I was debating whether I should have like a more creative name for this, but BIG OracleFest is kind of exactly what it is. And so I didn't want to mislead anyone. This is what it is. We started last year with the first OracleFest. And we had 28 speakers. It was like a 2.5-day event. And I was just really seeing whether people wanted this, if they were curious about what I had seen in my visions, what I believed was possible when we gathered in spaces like this. And then I was so amazed at how many people actually really wanted to take part that throughout the year, we did a few different events, the podium events, to continue building upon this, testing the waters a little bit. And so it became clear to me that this BIG OracleFest Online is a perfect time because we can all cozy in. I know it's winter for a lot of you, and I'm seeing this in the chat updates. Some of your weather is atrocious right now, and I feel for you. I'm originally from Canada, Turtle Island, now called Canada. So I totally understand. This year I'm blessed because I'm in Madeira, so I'm just off the coast of Morocco on an island. So I won't brag and I won't show you the sunshine. I'll just pretend that I'm in it with you all. Dallas, Texas, you'll also be getting nicer weather. In Hawaii too, I'm sure you're doing better than poor Ontario folk right now. So welcome everyone from wherever you are coming from and from wherever you've been and with whatever is going on in your life right now. This is a very, very different feeling year from last year. I feel a really remarkable difference from last year's energy to this year. But I know that everyone who's in this room now and throughout the rest of the weekend is meant to be a part of this shared collective space and this energetic field that comes together when all of us trust our intuition. It's a beautiful and, oh my gosh, necessary thing during these times, right? If more people were living from their hearts, we wouldn't be in the place that we're in right now for the collective on the whole. And so I hope that part of this weekend you take in for yourself simply to gather insights, information, messages, or feelings that you might be needing, or that perhaps you're just needing to remember. Sometimes it's just like being reminded or validated about something that you've been sensing, and you might hear a speaker say something that's, exactly what's been on your mind. And that kind of shared insight is really comforting. When you think that something is maybe a certain way and someone else says it in that way that resonates with you, I think that it gives us all more strength. And so think of, 40 plus speakers all coming together and having some shared thread, some similar message, very impactful. So I did promise that I would be singing, but there's a few messages and visions that I wanted to share first. And of course, if you have any questions throughout this entire experience, or if you're having thoughts or you have eureka moments and epiphanies and you just want to scream it into the chat, go all caps, do whatever you want, add emojis, I don't care. We'll be responding that way. And then, of course, we will be also listening and receiving you through video in our live readings portion. So we do have a live reading session later today. And I know that we're in lots of different time zones. So I've put it in Eastern time zone simply because it's kind of in the middle. I'm over in the UK right now, Pacific folk, and Eastern is sort of somewhere in the middle of that. And it's kind of my natural to convert to because that's where a lot of my family and friends are. So if you are able to join us today at the live readings, they are at 8 p.m. Eastern to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we also have a workshop on how to read tarot and oracle cards at 6 p.m. So those are two of our more special events, I would say, just because they're groups gathering. But I am really, really excited for the day ahead. There's also been one schedule change. I know that all of you are aware of what's going on in the world right now, and that you know a lot of people in your life who could probably really use a space like this to come and settle in, to be with their heart, to listen. And it's not like it skips any of us. Like all of the speakers and all of the attendees are going through a lot of similar things right now. And so me being on an island, I've been weirdly separate from the land energy of North America. And so as I see all of this distracted energy come in and the absolute, really, it's absolutely fair grief and shock at just what is happening, the horrendous executions and violence, just that is so not humane, and the exact opposite, actually, of all of our sensitive hearts. Really, it's like the exact opposite energy from what we feel is possible for humanity. It can be extremely defeating, and at the same time, there's all of this crumbling away. There's also a lot of really big expansion energy. So it's very conflicting for a lot of people, and it has, I think, a lot of overwhelming qualities or busy-minded qualities. And so what we do have is also some schedule changes, which is unusual because last year there weren't as many. And this week, oh my goodness, the amount of little switches that we've needed to do. So Kirsty Lauren is in the middle of travel to India. She loves OracleFest and she really wants to bring a heart activation out. So she is going to be in flight and there was nothing she could do. This flight was getting rerouted and she was supposed to be speaking today at 2 p.m. So I am going to see whether there's another time because there also were an illness and a family emergency that came up. So I'm going to try and see whether we can fit her in later in the weekend. Otherwise, we're just going to do some reflections. We'll have Carrie Ann do a little bit of work. I'll be bringing some visions through and then we'll take breaks. So no real loss. There's obviously enough going on this weekend. We're not going to panic about an hour of break if that happens somewhere. We'll say, thank goodness, Kate. You packed so much in here anyway. So anywho, those are the kind of initial housekeeping bits I wanted to share. And for those of you who don't know, I created OracleFest after a series of visions that I received and continue to receive and tune into. What was really beautiful is recently, I also found out my dear friend, Emily Moran, who will be speaking. She is actually speaking tomorrow morning, right after the opening ceremony, opening circle. And I'll be starting an hour earlier tomorrow, and Emily will be right after me. I've known her now over 10 years, and we have done a lot of healing work together. We've just happened to do trainings together around the same times, and lived apart a lot of our friendship. Mostly my fault because I'm all over the place. But she told me that she had received this vision of something that looked similar to OracleFest. I think she was going to call it like the Earth Spirit Summit or something like that, and she'd had this idea and then thought, that's way too much work. I don't think I should do that. And almost like a few months later, I started having these dreams of OracleFest and what would be possible. And I, maybe foolishly, said, sure, I'll take that on. And so she had never told me this. And we have done a lot of deep conversating about our work and about where we were going. She's had now a little baby. I'm the auntie to her baby, whose name is Fox. Which is really amazing because Fox was the first animal brought through for OracleFest. It was like the first spirit guide brought through for OracleFest. And so I didn't actually click to that until just this moment, which is really sweet. And so little Fox came into the world. And then finally, Emily told me, hey, I think you actually took this dream or vision that I had because some of the same names, like she would have had Asha Frost. She would have reached out to Dr. Stephen Farmer. These are people she would have had already on her list. She said she thought there was going to be 44 speakers. Well, what did I feel called to do this year? I think we need 44 speakers. I think that's what we need, right? And so she said this whole year, as she's been watching OracleFest come to fruition, she's been really amazed. She got an email from Asha Frost and said, oh my gosh, that's my friend. I know her. And I'm really excited for you to hear from her. I'm excited for you to hear from all of our speakers. I just wanted to share that there's this really beautiful thing that happens when we come together in community and trust that whatever ideas come up here are meant to be acted upon, and in a way, it's almost like she had this vision and passed it off, but it landed to me next. I think that's like such a cute idea. And you never know what's going to come through the field today on Oracle Mountain for all of you. Yeah, Anna, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you. I love that my mother and father are here right now on William's iPad. I think that's really precious. That's really, really sweet. So thank you. And I really couldn't do this work actually if I didn't have the support system and network that I do. So I'm thankful that there are some speakers here in the room, and I see you, and I appreciate you being here to celebrate the opening of this. And I also want to say I'm deeply thankful to Carrie Ann, who even amidst her own challenges of illness and change happening on her side, and actually stepping into spiritual work as well, which is an undertaking in and of itself on a spiritual level to even just choose to offer work out in the world. She's also been volunteering and helping ever since she came to the first Big Oracle Fest last year. So she was so amazed by the experience we had all together. She said, I think I can help you with making this happen and keeping it going. And I'm very grateful to you. So thank you, Carrie Ann, also for being here. If anyone has any questions, you can also ask Carrie Ann, or she will be helping me manage the emails as well today, just so I can stay fully present. So, oh, so beautiful. Okay. So there's more visions. Oracle Mountain is a space, if you have not heard me speak about it in the many Oracle Mountain chats or on the webpage, Oracle Mountain is a space that opened up to me and started to show me what was possible. And it started out a whole bunch of dark craters, and I had no idea I was on a mountain, and I was looking into the shadows beside me, which I now realize were almost how I viewed my previous ideas and careers and businesses. You know, I love entrepreneurship, and I've been trying all these different things. And when people started coming up to the mountain, I realized that they were all looking at this land as like a land of gold, and it was sparkling. And so I saw suddenly we had this foundation, this potential of this like golden mountain top. And every time I now go back to Oracle Mountain, it's quite expansive. There's always a new project or a new space opening up, or there's new people and there's new visions and things coming through. And what felt really different this year, and I know that it's because of these times, and these are incredibly important times to be doing this work, but also we start the work before everyone's ready. And I'm aware of that something about this field is almost larger than what people are quite open or ready for. I think it's happening this year. And I think many, many, many awakenings are happening as more light gets shone on some of these systems that have become quite outdated. But what I saw this year was very different, because instead of people just coming on up out of curiosity, they were waiting behind the gate. And I was like, hi, the party's up here. Come on, everyone. And a few people would come in. You all saw the call and said, yeah, I'll absolutely walk up to Oracle Mountain. But the fear and the hesitation and the you go first, no, you go first, no, you go first. Well, I'll see what happens when this person crosses through the gate, but then they stop looking. It was very interesting to me. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that these are very, very different times. We're needing to do things really differently. And in order to do things differently, we do have to be brave enough to take a chance to go first in something. And I honor the fact that all of you have chosen to be a part of this wave, which is more of a communal space, more of a gathering space where each of you are recognized for the insights that you bring. It's not just me saying, here's a whole bunch of experts and you don't know anything. Because I think we're over that. I think we're over thinking that the authorities know what they're doing. So what if we were all the authorities? And what if each of us had that personal inner authority? And so it is my hope that our vibration meeting here today and onward as the weekend goes on allows the field to grow and allows the calling. I had a conch, this shell call out to everyone. I still use the conch shell, but some people are like, yeah, I hear you, but I'm scared. And I think that's true of a lot of things right now. I think it's true of a lot of people wanting to chase after their dreams and finding the economic times a really seemingly dangerous zone to do that in. I think taking a risk of standing up for what your heart believes in is also it's showing us that it's incredibly risky right now. The heat is rising in many ways. Carrie Ann said this. You didn't know I was going to say this, but Carrie Ann said that she kept feeling like a lot of heat and fire from Oracle Fest. And I was like, I have started this fire and it is bigger than before. Because I felt like, okay, I'm going to add way more logs to this fire. This year, we really need to have a brighter signal to show people what is possible. And so I really appreciate that all of you are a part of that in your own way, in your own ripple effect. You go to a coffee shop and the barista is like, that was a weird person, but it brightens their day and brightens their week. And you never know what comes through their dreams. And they might not ever trace it back to you, but that's how this stuff works. It works on an energy level and a frequency level far beyond, what our minds can comprehend. I'd also like to invite an idea, which is disrupting the corruption. Because in one of my little visions and journeys on this path up to Oracle Mountain, trying to figure out how to help people see that they're welcome through this gate and onto the mountain peak. I went down and I had like a hood on, was acting like I wasn't Oracle Kate. And so I was like, da, 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 like trying to join the conversation. Da, da, da. And I can't help but reveal myself because I just think we should all be walking up. So they realized that I clearly was standing out. But there was a couple people who in that wave came up with me. And then a few people joined Oracle Fest and got their tickets like within that next 24 hours after that vision. It was a very funny moment to me to think I had to sort of try to blend in. But I think we might find moments of that as the year goes on, that you don't need to be full force 110% the whole year through, but actually go incognito mode to observe and to disrupt from the inside is sort of a fun invitation. Disruption to the corruption was a concept that was coming through for me a lot this morning. And there's also a toad wanting to come through already this year. And he's been with me all morning and I keep giggling because it's a really funny energy. It's like a very large toad. And I feel like he's sitting right at the right side of my feet. So if you want to put the toad at your feet now at this time, you're also welcome to invite toad into your space. This toad doesn't really care if he looks good. This toad doesn't really care if he sounds good. His sounds are a little ugly, actually. They were sort of disrupting me. I would hear it kind of in the back of my head. Oh, was that the toad? And what the toad is here to help us do, toad spirit, is helping us to give up the things that we think are not belonging of us. The toad is like a transforming toad. He doesn't care what you're feeding him as long as you're ready to let go of it, because he's not giving it back. And the toad is, I would say, helping us then with some extraction. And shamanic soul extraction would be to like remove from ourselves something that is not belonging to our spirit and to release it. And so the toad is also willing to receive things that don't feel like they're yours, but also the things that feel like, hey, I'm done with this part of what I've been carrying, right? As well, this toad is really reminding us, I think, of not needing to be perfect or pleasing to others. Like truly, he is not worried about that in any way. Which I really love about him. And because he's so low to the earth, it's also a very grounding energy, this toad. When I was younger, there was a backyard space that I really loved where there was this forest. We would often see deer coming up from the forest to our house. And there was a really, really algae-filled pond. And I remember a really magic moment one day going out to this pond, a really thick like layer of all this pond scum, on top of it. And this toad just coming right out like this. It was like seeing the shape of the scum all around it, but knowing there was life underneath. And I remember being so amazed by that. So even if we feel like it's difficult to break through the surface of all the whatever we're noticing in our world or around us feels kind of scummy right now, and there's enough of it, I would say, to say that could feel true. Know that There's so much life happening under the surface right now. There's just so much life. There's so much heart and spirit and community coming together to figure out what our breakthrough is going to be. And here's another theme that I've felt for our year, is that this is a breakthrough year in whatever area that you're feeling open to. If you're ready, it will not feel like a breakdown. It will feel like a breakthrough. And of course, that requires openness. It requires surrender. The toad is teaching us to surrender. Drop it on the floor. Let it be with the scum. Let the toad take it, eat it, do whatever toad needs to do with it, and toad is also has a voice, right? Toad has this croaking, booming sort of sound. And so we might not know, we might not be super familiar with our voice as they get raised louder this year. But just the practice of it and not needing for it to look perfect, to look put together, to know exactly how it's going to go or how it's going to be received, or even sometimes caring about how it's going to be received, that's how we will provide disruption to the corruption. I do have a few more visions to share and also some songs. Okay, I'll share one and then I'll come back to this after we hear from our first 3 speakers. I'll come back with a few more visions and a few more housekeeping, introducing you to the spaces of Oracle Mountain. So stay with me. I'll do that. And then that's when we'll take our first break, is after all of that. And then, and then that'll be all that the YouTube folks get to see. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize there was this cool thing going on. And it's going to be even cooler when you see the next few people speaking, not just me. Then you can join in the Zoom room. You can go check out oraclefest.com. And of course, anytime you see this, you can check out oraclefest.com even for the replays. That was another thing I felt this year, is that our replays are going to be watched a lot more. I think people are going to need to go back to reflect. There's no possible way, other than if you're me or maybe Carrie Ann, to really stay throughout this whole 4 days. And even Carrie Ann is also dealing with a little bit of illness right now. So I will forgive you if you do need to rest and not stay the whole 4 days. So I think it's absolutely human and understandable that we might take more time to reflect, to integrate, to repeat, rinse and repeat. The amount of times I've listened to some of these calls from last year and these sessions from last year, and they've had new resonance even 9 months later, is really spectacular. It's really amazing. Oh, I love that, Anna, you're feeling this as well. Yeah. There's a lot of shared themes here. I can sense the resonance even for the folks who are not on camera, that I'm like almost feeling you nodding along as well. And thank you for that, because it is so isolating, isn't it, to carry this sometimes when we're walking in our day-to-day lives. And that's another really beautiful reason for us gathering together. Okay. Some song. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, a lot of my work is about shamanic understandings and the subconscious, and also song and art and music. I love retreat experiences, which is also what leads me to love leading Oracle Fest, our little online retreat space together. And I'll announce our in-person retreat as well later on throughout the weekend. Okay. So let me just change the settings so you can hear the drum. Zoom gets overwhelmed by the drum if I don't have the right setting on. We can hear me? Beautiful. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. I am surrendering all of me. Through my mission, the world will see. We are love, forever and always. In our struggles in the dark, we are love always. We are love, forever and always. In our struggle in the dark, we are love always. I am so wild and free to choose the life that was made for me, to give my joy, to give my pain, and to see they're one and the same. I am so wild and free to choose the life that was made for me, to give my joy, to give my pain, and to see they are one and the same. We are love, forever and always. In our struggles in the dark, we are love always. We are love, forever and always. In our struggles in the dark, we are love always. Woohoo! Look at us, together in love. Yes. Oh, I just got a wave of so much excitement. Excitement just to see how this whole weekend unfolds together. Oh, to keep sharing our voices loud and full of song, full of light, full of rage. Whatever we need to share this year, that's the ticket. Disruption to the corruption. Okay, so I will give more of the festival space openings later. But what I feel now is we are going to switch into our speaker session. So in this morning or mid-afternoon or yeah. For me, it's 4:30 p.m., so this is going to be a confusing few days of translating times. But we have Andrea Gomez speaking first, the Nourishing Witch, which I am so excited for because we've started this morning with a lot of creative energies. So we have Andrea Gomez, and then we have Michelle Coutinho, Michelle Infinity. She's a vocal empowerment coach and sound healer. She's a beautiful songstress. And then we have Andrea Menard, who is also a songstress, talking about divine feminine rising. So she's an actor, and she's also created an oracle deck, and she teaches indigenous wisdom of the divine feminine rising. Then I'll be back. I'll be bringing forth a little bit more, showing you more of the mountain, explaining maybe a couple more visions that I've had in sharing as we go this weekend. Keep giving everything to the toad. I'll introduce us to the theme and to the fire of the phoenix right after these morning sessions. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Andrea up here. Pin. There we go. There we go. So here, I'll keep me in here for a second. I am so excited to welcome you to Oracle Mountain, for you to be here, for you to share the path of creation. What's so beautiful is that if you saw earlier posts, before we had thought that it was going to be the path of like creative mastery. And then if you watch the Oracle Mountain chat I did with Andrea, she was actually like, you know, I'm not sure I want to claim mastery yet. I think that's what this year is about. And I think there's more coming. And so maybe next year it'll be the path of creative mastery. But right now it's the path of creation. And so I love that there was just this intuitive flow to even how you brought this subject forward. And I'm excited to see what comes through your channel today. So welcome. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. I am very glad to be here. I hear myself double.
Oh, that's me. That's my phone. There. Is that better? Oh, wait.
Nope.
There we go.
Yes. Hi.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, all good. I'm delighted to be here and seeing familiar faces, seeing your beautiful pictures for those of you who are not on video. It is good to be here. So thank you. Thank you, Kate, for putting this together, for Carrie Ann also for supporting. Um, and I would love to start with a little opening prayer. And if you feel like closing your eyes, that's wonderful. I will close mine. If not, you can keep them open, and it's pretty good. And I'm going to invite you to take 3 long, deep belly breaths with me. Inhaling deep, deep, deep into your belly. Letting it go. Inhale deep, deep, deep into your belly. And release. And one more time, inhale deep, deep, deep into your belly. And let it go. And I want to open this space that we have here together, this pocket of time that I've been given in the Oracle Mountain, with a lot of love and a lot of gratitude for Anna and Kate. I want to honor everything that has moved through you for you to be here today. Everything that has moved through me for me to be here today. And opening up this beautiful, beautiful space where we get to be around this conversation around creation, placing creation at the center of that beautiful circle. Thanking the land where you are right now and everything that grows in that land right now. Wherever the energy is, maybe if it's in the global north, you are in deep winter and the energy is still stored in the roots. And if you're in the south, then it will feel more buoyant, more peak energy. And if you're in the tropics, anything in between. Inviting your teachers, your guides, your spirit squad, whomever walks with you or moves with you into this space. Inviting everything that wants to be seen, anything that wants to be touched, anything that wants to be felt to be felt. And may this time together go and bless all of your relations and all of your creations in all directions of time and space. And with a big inhale and then a little stretch if you feel like it, I welcome you into the path of creation. And as Kate so beautifully introduced it, I thought it would be mastery. And then was like, oh no, hold on a minute. Yes, I have been creating for a very long time, but mastery feels like my own word for this year. I'm walking this medicine this year. So let's actually share from what I have already cultivated, like the wisdom and the insights and the lived experience that has actually already moved, that I feel very satisfied and very confident and very at ease sharing with you. If it feels good for you and you would like to place it on the chat so I can also see a little bit, like kind of like take the temperature of the space. When I say creativity or creation, I would love for you to give me like a 1 to 5 where you feel in that spectrum. Like 1 being like, I don't know what that even is, but I have this kind of curiosity. and 5 being like I am moving with the energy of creation and I feel very buoyant. And of course, anything in between. And then that gives me also an idea of mm, where you're at. I have a 5, 5, 4. Yes, 4. Delicious. 4.5. Hell yes. I love that. Um, then I'm kind of curious to uh, what, if you could put like one word or two words to what feels maybe like an edge, or maybe like rubbing, or maybe like that thing that is like it's kind of moving but not really, or kind of here, because we're a group of 5s and 4s. It would be different if it would be a group of like 1s and 2s or 3s. So I'm kind of curious to also see what feels like could use some more juice in your creative experience. Is it expression? Is it expansion? Yes. Love that, Annalisa. Thank you. Sunshine, I can imagine. Dedication. I love that. Sharing. Space and time. Bringing into form and structure. Love it. So, reading from your words. There's something that I feel like it could be really, really good, because like these energy of expansion, these like desire for expanding or like bringing things into form, requires us that we have a dance between structure and flow. And a lot of the times, like we think about creativity in terms of just flow. It's like, oh, I want to enter the creative flow and like feel these and like these expansion. But we can only expand and like we can only flow to the degree that our structures allow it. Energetically, like literally, electrically in our body. Like if our bodies are all tight and clenched, there's not enough space for that to move through. So one of the things that I have noticed, and I think that this is a very, very beautiful way of connecting with the energy of creation, is literally looking outside and noticing the kind of structures that nature has to move all that flow of energy, to move the actual cycles and the actual movement of how things are born and bloom and grow and decay and then die and then go back into the soil to nurture the thing that is going to come out again. So in that, then you will know, and you can maybe feel it in your body, that the structures of summer are not the same structures as winter. The thing that supports creation during the summer months is not the same that is going to nurture creation in the winter months. Because, maybe this is also like a cool thing to know, is that creation is moving through you whether you are in a creative summer or in a creative winter. It's just that it moves different. And to be able to have the capacity to name that, to track that, to let that simmer in your body, I think it's a very liberating thing to do, because then it's not expecting that creation always looks like peak of the summer, that it's always yielding these. That's production. And production has a moment in the cycle of creation, but it's only one part of the cycle. And I think the trick, or the definitely for me, one of like my biggest mental wire shortcuts was that I was taught to see creation and creativity as the thing that happens at the peak, as the thing that is like at the top of the mountain, literally. And it's like, oh no, hold on a minute. It's like it happens from the roots. Like there's nothing at the branches if there's nothing at the roots. Um, I see a message here is that I work with people wanting to be creatures, not machines. So you're speaking my language here. Exactly. That is exact. Funny enough, I love that you're saying that, Kate. And maybe there's chance for us to um, speak about these deeper. As it is exactly one of the things that feels very alive and true for me. It's like one of the main things is like, how about we treat ourselves as creatures and not as machines? Machines will like have to always keep up the output and make it more efficient and make it even more, even better, faster, stronger, blah, 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 blah. But we're not that, although we're conditioned to believe that we are. And I feel so much of that, like, disruption to the corruption, which I love, love, love that I like got to like listen to that piece, is like the disruption to like the corruption is like the corruption that we have been taught to believe that we're machines. That is corrupted mental patterning. So how about returning to the structures that actually feed and support creation? And then when we start seeing and pulling apart this paradigm of production, that's how I call it, then you realize that the winter is not dead. The winter is not the absence of summer. The winter, the inner creative winter is not the absence of that peak energy. It's actually the womb of it, is the home of where everything comes back into life. So thinking about yourself as expanding in these cycles in a cyclical way rather than in a linear way is also gonna feel like you're gonna go through the whole process of creating whatever it is, and then it reaches these, and then the next thing after like blooming and fruiting and like is just an exhale. You can't keep inhaling more, and then like and that can come back in, do the process that it needs to do inside you so that you're ready for the next cycle. And the beautiful thing about that, when we start understanding ourselves and treating ourselves as creatures and not machines, when we start having a relationship with creation, the mother, the great mystery, however we're going to call it, through the bridge of creativity, then it gets really exciting. Then like you become also the fertile ground for ideas to come, and not just like stay in the realm of ideas, but to actually land. The first place, the first manifestation of an idea in the physical realm is to penetrate your body. When you feel it in your mental field, when you're like, oh, this, and then you're like, oh, I had this idea, and you like mention it to someone or you write it on your journal. That's the first time that it ever landed here. And then it needs to keep traveling down, right? Like you have to feel it and see like, oh, this actually like moves something. And then like you keep moving it like lower and lower, and then like once it's like nested down in your belly, it's like, oh, yes. And like, where are the energy and the resources and the timing for this to gestate? And you will also probably notice that there are ideas that are, I was talking to Kate about this also. It's like, there are ideas that are seeds, like cilantro seeds or coriander. I don't know, however you call it in your part of the world. You plant them, and within 6 weeks, you already have shoots. And within like probably 9 weeks, you can already eat it. Bam, delicious. How glorious. You will also probably have mango seeds from a glorious, epic, enormous mango tree. Delicious. Plant that seed. Are you going to eat the mangoes anytime soon? Probably not. Is it going to take maybe 10 years for you to enjoy the glorious, succulent, golden mangoes that like just drip all over your face? Yes. Does that mean that the 10 years that it took for that seed to become the thing were like not productive? Not really. So I feel like also starting to play with this idea, and this is something that I do a lot because it has helped me a lot, is to feel into the ideas that I want to bring into the world as seeds and treat them as such. And it's like, oh, if I am depleted, if my inner world is empty, that soil has no nutrients to carry these forward. So therefore, taking good care of myself in all the many areas is vital to whatever thing that I'm nurturing. If I have a project, a podcast, a spiritual business, like whatever the thing that is, like the thing that I'm actually really excited to put my energy into, it's beautiful to feed that, but you also need to be fed and like feed it back in. And then if you're pulling from other streams, like there's so many ways in which we can be nurtured. But one of the things that it is really, really like at the core of like the way that I see and the way that I mentor also is that nourishment is essential for creation. And there will be like a lot of nourishment asked from you to be able to bring something to life. Because once that thing has come to life, it will nourish you back also. If the full cycle is complete, if you have gone through the complete cycle of creation, you will be nurtured by your creations. And it won't feel like, oh, damn, the next thing. That's all programming that gets to just be dissolved. In the many ways that we can dissolve like old stories, all ways of being, all ways of understanding this. And of course being part of like a space like this is part of like entering that medicine of like dissolving old ways of being. Um, mm, I'm curious if you have any questions or anything that wants to be shared from your side, because it also helps me to have like a little, but if not, no worries. I'm just curious if there's anything steering for you as you've received this so far. Mm. Mm. One of the things that I feel, oh, here it is. Carrie Ann is saying, I can share that during the prayer, I saw a giant purple amethyst heart floating over a golden infinity symbol. Something is coming in. Oh, yes. I love that. I love that. And you know, that's the first reception. And what, like, you're literally just like moving through what I just described. It's like you saw it first. Now you're typing it. So it's like moving literally down your body. And then as it comes down, it will code itself, and it will inform up again what it wants to be, what it is, what energy it carries, what wants to be expressed. So thank you for sharing that. It's very beautiful. I feel like the last bit that I would like to share, given the time that I have, is the coherence that creation requires. And when we don't, I'm going to talk about coherence in a second, but what happens when we're not coherent is that we like receive this vision, we move it through, it starts coming down. Sometimes it doesn't even make it like past here. And I want you to notice like how much of your really good ideas, really things that have been knocking on your door, have like stayed at like a mental like in the space, just because it doesn't have enough place to land, because the conditioning or the mental limitation is like, oh no, but I can't do that anyway. So how much it stays up, even if it like could be something, just because there's no space. And then as you go lower and like deeper, is like, how many things are you not allowing yourself to feel? How much excitement from the ideas that are coming to you are you not allowing yourself to feel? Just the excitement. Think about how much terror it sometimes brings to our bodies to have like an idea that like for a split second you're like, oh, yes. And then the second later you're like, oh, I know. And then like all these like And like, no, 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 no. Like, this feels too familiar. And then, like, the channel is closed. So, this center, right? Like, the limitations. This center, like, this area, that I cannot, like, myself, like, feel the joy of that. And then if you go even lower, is like the, oh no, this is not safe. This doesn't like going according to my clan's beliefs. This doesn't go according to like the worldview of the people around me. Like this, there's like all these like tension of like, nope. There is the yes that was there, like the impulse is just blocked. And like the pleasure and the potential delight of bringing that back into the world is like, nope. And that are micro creative abortions. That is energy that wanted to move through you in one way or another that got blocked at some point. Now, not every single idea that you have is meant to be carried out into the world, and like our minds have so many expectations about how that should happen. That's when the coherence comes through. Is about like having that like lower belly, like deep, like rooted, like life force energy saying like I'm here for these. Having this space being like I feel my feelings and it feels flowy and there's like water that moves and air that moves and I can breathe. And my mind is like direction, structure. Step one, step two, step three. Step 75 and then go back to step 20 because creation is not linear, so like sometimes we just like do like bits and pieces in all directions. But when the mind is clear of like it is a yes, I'm giving like a yes to that impulse, I'm giving yes to that feeling, I'm giving a yes here in my consciousness, in my awareness, then creations have a way of like being gestated and then brought up. Then the sharing is also coherent, and the coherence is not in just like in what you say, but it's like a whole like energetic, is like the lower centers are here, the heart is here, and all my other abilities, like all my cognitive abilities, my language, everything is in the service of this vessel of creation. And that's the path of creation. It is a cyclical path, it is an unwinding path, it is very much a resilient school. Deciding that you're gonna create is probably one of the most courageous things because it will show you every place where you are tight inside yourself. Every place where it, like that free flow that you had as a child, that was so dynamic and like so free. Are you gonna sing? Are you gonna paint? Are you gonna draw? Are you gonna like make believe that we're like now in a restaurant and you need to eat my soup no matter what? Like that kind of playfulness gets like stuck inside our bodies, in our minds, in our psyches. And then tending to that as an act of love, as an act of like, I am here. And because I am human and I am here, I am creative. I am an expression of creation. I am a creature. And my birthright is creativity. And then from that place is like, okay, what wants to be created? And what kind of support do I need to create that? And what kind of people have been like walking the path just a little bit ahead that can shine the light back on mine, knowing that, all paths are different, all expressions are different, all the ways in which we can bring this energy forward are meant to be different, and that we can honor that path as we walk it and honor ourselves deeply as we walk it also. Mm. And in that way, I feel very complete. I'm curious again if, like, just for the last bit, there are any questions or any comments or anything that wants to be shared.
I would love if you could share some of the ways that people can interact with your creative work and with you so that if they're resonating with what you're saying, they can get more of it.
Nourishing Witch Nourishing Witch on Instagram, nourishingwitch.com on the internet. And yeah, and that's where you can find me. Send me a DM. I love to hear from you and in any way support your path. There's beautiful things on the website for free, for a little more. There's a wide variety. I think that that's also a beautiful thing to share as a closing. It's like when we start creating and reframing also like this idea of like my offerings and my business and all of these is creating a garden. So you are more than welcome to come and join the garden of Nourishing Witch, where you will be nourished plentifully. And there are free options, there are options for a little more. Um, that it gets to be wholesome for all of us. Mm. Thank you, Jill, saying I'm inspired, renewed, and thank you. And I saying I just love to say I just want to say that I love your Elders Council Oracle. It's been so helpful and profoundly inspiring for me in ways that I don't experience many other oracles. Yes, she's talking about this baby. It's one of the things that I've created, and I'll be doing readings about from this deck tomorrow. So if you feel like having a little interaction with it, and I'll pick some elders.
I will say we're waiting for Michelle Coutinho to join us. So you do have time if you did want to share one card. Your choice, totally open.
Well.
You can keep them in suspense, but yeah.
Since we're here, since Anna called it into the cauldron, since Michelle is not here and the planets are aligning, of course, I'll be very glad to share. So yeah, the Elders Council. I'll probably share more about it in another moment, but this deck has been really beautiful to bring to life. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Maybe you can take one too if you feel like it. And here we have an elder for us here right now. It's the Elder of Memory. I can read you if we have time. What do you say, Kate? Do we?
Yes, we do.
All right. Memory. I'm going to try to hold it in a place. I'll do this. It says, ancestral wounds, release, and alchemy. Stored in your cells, there are stories of your lineage, those who came before you, those who you know, and those who you will never. Your entire body is a memory bank. Some of these memories are active narratives within your family. Some of them run under the surface. Some of them are empowering and life-affirming. Some of them are traumatic and haven't been fully felt. There will be times when you find yourself experiencing something that feels really intense, that feels bigger than your own experience, that feels like it's not only yours. Chances are, it's not. Touching a painful ancestral memory has that quality to it. It's often overwhelming and charged. If you are one of the sensitive ones within your family, you have the capacity to feel into these pockets of contracted energy and set them free. This is pure transgenerational alchemy. When you are deep in the process, let yourself be in the physical experience of it. If images or dreams come to you, welcome them. Trust the part of you that knows exactly how to move through this. It is not going to make sense at first, and that can be scary for the mind that always wants reasons. Instead of going down the rabbit hole of trying to explain what's happening, invite your mind to become the witness to what is emerging through you. Trust the intelligence of your body and allow it to reveal the story. It may come to you all at once or bit by bit. Trust the timing. Trust the unfolding. Don't force or interfere. Allow it to run its course. You are safe, and you're setting yourself and your ancestors free.
Mm, thank you so much for sharing that. That was perfect, exactly what we needed at this time. And I echo what Anna is saying. I absolutely love the concept, the art, the beauty, and the messages from your deck, from what I've gotten to experience so far. So you'll be joining us in the live reading circle tomorrow. We'll get to see more of this beautiful deck. So come and check that out. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, for being a part of Oracle Mountain. And I'm excited we get to see you tomorrow as well.
Ah, thank you. That was really, really delicious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And more to come. All right. Thank you so much, Andrea. So beautiful. I'm loving seeing in the comments how people are resonating with this already. We're off to an opening, a beautiful, good start to this amazing weekend ahead of us. You'll notice as we go through all of the different speakers, there's a bit of like a storyline, a journey, and a wave that we ride together. And I think opening with the idea of the path of creation made total sense. So, absolutely beautiful. And I see that Michelle is in the room, and I'm so excited to have you here as well. I always love your setup. Your setup is so inviting. I think because I really miss instruments living nomadically and on the road, that I always think I'm going to have a space just like Michelle. There's going to be all these instruments and funky lights. And I love that you're burning some herbs as well to get us started. So welcome to Oracle Fest Day 1. And this is Michelle Coutinho, otherwise known as Michelle Infinity, transformational leader, vocal empowerment guide, really incredible wisdom song channeler. I'm sure that she has other words that she might use for herself, but this is what I have so far. So welcome back, Michelle. Michelle was in an, yeah, okay, beautiful. Always changing definitions with all of our luminary speakers. So it almost seems like made up as we go.
And that is our lives, you know, that's actually wisdom, right? Real wisdom is knowing, what is that quote that I love? Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. And in between the two, my life moves. Yeah. And I can't pronounce the person's name. It's like Nisiriyara Maha. It's like a long Indian name, the person who said that. Do you want me to just take it away, Kate? Just go for it.
Absolutely. And I will say it's slightly quiet right now. So I would love if there's more space. I'm not sure
More
if that's just,
volume.
yeah.
Let me just
Just
double
because
check really quick.
yeah.
MacBook speakers, select microphone. Oh, that's interesting. It should be. I'll see it one more time. How's that?
Can hear
Better?
you. It's just a little quiet, but you're also back from the,
How about now? And still quiet.
yeah, a little. Yeah. But can people hear? Is it just me, that's getting that, or is it a little quiet for others as well?
Still quiet? All right, let me end something here. End video. End video. I'm gonna do that. Dunk. Let's troubleshoot.
Yeah,
Here.
absolutely.
Because it's better that we have good quality.
Yeah, we
So
want to
we'll
hear you. Exactly. I would always appreciate if someone
yes.
said that to me. So, like having
Yeah,
spinach in your
totally,
teeth.
right?
Yeah.
What's the point? Yeah, exactly. What's the point of doing that if it's like, it's annoyingly soft? Um, okay, let me double check this.
If you're watching on the YouTube, we will check the comments as well. So feel free to share.
Oh, how about now? Would it be better? Is this
Brilliant.
better? This is way
Absolutely.
better. Okay, great. Wide spectrum audio is on. We'd recommend doing wide spectrum audio. Good. Dismiss. Go live. Okay, take two. All right, I'm so glad you guys can hear me okay. Good morning to everybody on Insight Timer. I am streaming right now on OracleFest Live, and we are going to do a channeled, beautiful ceremonial. Ooh. Good morning to everybody on Insight Timer. And I'm recording myself apparently. Let me just, this is cute. We have technical difficulties this morning. That's okay. I'm gonna undo that so I can use that recorded thing later. So what we are going to do today is everyone's going to take a deep breath. And we are going to get very clear on what our intention is for this next 45 minutes that we have to gather together. My intention for all of us, because this world needs it so deeply, is that we commune. That's what I do in all of these gatherings. We commune with infinite spirit, with consciousness, with wisdom consciousness, with peace, with our guides, with our angels, with all of the highest beings of the light. And in my body now, in this moment, is the invocation of warrior spirit, which is a command of integrity and leadership and authority that puts virtue and right relationship to all things front and center. And right now in our landscape in the collective, we are at a time of unrest and upheaval and mistrust and grief. And there's a lot of energies in the collective. And so my prayer for all of us is that we can come, especially in these circles, in these ripples, if we who are privileged enough to live in society, that we can come into a space of meditation, can do nothing else with our vibrational frequency, but pray and offer good energy into the earth, into the cosmic, to hold and steward right relationship with all things. May it be so. May we use our energy, our attention, our awareness, our hearts, and our jobs, like our lives depend on it, to uphold and be and embody the leadership that we want to see in this world. So that is my deep prayer for our collective space today. And what I'm going to do now is sing into that. I want to sing a prayer on the harmonium, but first, since we paused, I think I'm going to just test this again. And I'm going to do a little invocation. I'm calling in spirit, calling in the four directions, the north, ancient ones, stones and bones, ancestors of the earth. Directions of the west, medicine of bear, the water, dolphins and whales, the south, the fire, service, play, the east, the bird tribes, the winged ones, great above, intergalactic consciousness, Pachamama, Mother Earth, violet flame in the center of our circle today. Imagine all of the beings that are watching this now, who are gathered all around the world. All of us, all of you, hello, 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 hello. Feel that, feel the integrity in your hearts. We can call up and out, but also our power is not only with our guides and our angels, but the part of our own consciousness that is angelic and woven and sacred And what are you tuning to? I call my work tuning to wisdom. Are you tuning to qualities of love inside of yourself? Are you noticing maybe there are qualities of emotions that are like grief or anger or feistiness? Welcome those into the circle as well. And offer them, imagining for a moment that there really is a violet flame, like a beautiful eternal fire. And if any energy comes up in you in this transmission at all, may you offer it. May you send it like a prayer. May you send it like a ritual. May you allow it to be here fully, because it is by feeling these feelings and transmuting them that we can come into congruence, that we can understand that we are as above, so below, as within, so without. And this is how we get to inner peace. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna just continue, and you guys are gonna know this song. Most of you, maybe who are American at least, will know this song. It's Amazing Grace. And this song, when I was first in medicine ceremonies, ironically, it was one of the songs that really opened my voice. And this morning, with all the things, all the news, everything that's been happening, it came as a prayer to sing. When I first got this harmonium, by the way, little small story, it was 2019, and I had just gone through a deep initiation portal where I went through a dark night of the soul. And I actually talk about it for the first time publicly on a podcast I just did, which find my information somewhere and message me and I'll send it to you. But I talk about this whole journey I went on, the journey of the underworld to initiate me into being able to share and transmit truth, really, so I wouldn't change a thing. And when I first got this instrument, this is what I learned to sing on it. That's really good. I made myself honey lemon water. It's the old-fashioned stuff. Can't beat it, right? Not with a stick. All right, let's do this. The only thing about singing with a harmonium is that it's a very awkward instrument because it's a giant box and it's weird. So you always got to do this part. All right. All right, here we go. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear was blind, but now I see. One more time. Amazing grace for the world, how sweet the sound that saved all our souls. Are we once were lost, but now let us be found. We were blind, now we see, we see, we see, let us see, we see, let us see, we see, let us see. Very good, very good. Okay, we got to do something with the drum, but I don't know what it is yet. What do you want me to sing with this drum? And then I know what I'm going to do. Om tare tu re soha. Let me do that one first. So obviously I do intuitive, yeah? I try sometimes to make things, they don't, it doesn't matter. We have to listen. And this is a big part of what I teach. It's receiving, right? We only are able to be as, imagine if this world, feel your hands on your hearts for a moment. Imagine if this world truly were in right relationship, that we truly listened to ourselves and we acted with courage, no matter what we heard. Yeah, we spoke our truth. We shared our hearts. We allowed ourselves the courage of our vulnerability. And we paused. We were less reactive. That's a yogic way of being that I deeply, deeply pray for our earth in this moment, and for each of us also to have that inside of ourselves, you know. I was talking with a client yesterday, and she was talking about how, or she wasn't talking about it, but I intuited something about her, and she said that it was correct, and it was that sometimes we don't know how to, we're trying to speak our truth, but it comes out in our own stuff. You know, we're like, but like we're trying, you know, and we don't know it. And this is what I'm saying to the light workers, because you're not here unless you're like psychologically like trying to be a good person, right? But then we can get into self-judgment and self-blame and like, I'm not doing it right, I'm not enough because I have negative emotions. And we deeply need self-forgiveness, because if we're not doing that with ourselves and just like knowing that we're trying our best and bringing our best and also creating compassion and space for other people, if no one else in the world is going to do it, we have to do that. We have to do that because there are people who do not have the skills or the tools to do that. So we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to be self-compassionate. We have to be kind to even the people who are, you know, threatening us or opposing our views. We have to understand that they're coming from fear. And we have to fight like warriors with integrity and backbone, but we also have to hold both. We have to learn how to hold both. Because if we become the other side of that, if we believe in separation so hard that we amplify it, it's not gonna be good for anyone. So I'd like to invite in the consciousness of the bodhisattvas, and then I will sing with the drum, unless my intuition's kind of pointing me to the drum, so maybe we do something with the drum. Let's see what. And then I'm gonna sing to Tara. Tara is this beautiful bodhisattva deity. What wants to be here first? I'm almost feeling like a goddess chant wants to come through. Yeah, okay. Yeah, which one is it? You tell me. Oh, shoot. Dang, okay. All right, I'm actually going to sing like a medicine prayer song. I don't even remember what tribe this is from, but this is gangster. Okay, you guys want to get gangster with me? Let's get gangster for a few moments. It'll just be a little tiny bit, and then I'll go into Om Tare. Okay, ready? Let's bring out that warrior fight. Okay, this song, by the way, if you want to sing it with me, it's called Kuate Leno Leno Mayote Hayano Hayano Hayano. We are one with the infinite sun forever, forever, forever. We are in tune with our sister the moon forever, forever, forever. Kuate Leno Leno Mayote Hayano Hayano Hayano. This is one of those songs that gets sung around a fire. You know what I mean? It's like primal and beautiful. Okay. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano 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 kuate leno leno mayote hayano leno leno mayote te hayano 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 kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. We are one with the infinite sun forever, forever, forever. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. We are in tune with our sister the moon forever, forever, forever. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. We are one with the infinite sun forever, forever, forever. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. We are in tune with our sister the moon forever, forever, forever. Kuate leno leno mayote hayano hayano hayano. Cool. All right. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Tom takage tari to ye na ye to te na kata ye takai o shu. Om de shu. So some of you may be familiar with Green Tara. She is the first female bodhisattva. She represents healing and Buddhist wisdom consciousness, and she also represents hearing the cries of the world. This is true with all bodhisattva energy, is that instead of going into the dissolution, the dissolving into infinite consciousness, they believe that if there is suffering still in this world, and if not all beings are enlightened or free, then we have a duty in order to bring that consciousness, that freedom, that liberation, that awakening of the oneness in all things to all beings. This is called the Bodhisattva vow. Avalokiteshvara, Guru Rinpoche, Tibetan Buddhism. These are all threads that are woven to this consciousness. It's a consciousness that I believe I hold dear because I've been woven to it for many lifetimes. And so this prayer and mantra is called Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. Easy to say, so you can sing it along with me. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. And it's just revering Tara. She who hears the cries of the world, come to us. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. 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 We are great children of the stars. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, Soha. Great children of the stars. So the name Tara means star. And we, you and me, all those people in this beautiful circle, we are children of the stars, of this bodhisattva consciousness, of this intergalactic wisdom dimension that we only get in glimmers. I know you only get it in glimmers, I only get it in glimmers. It's not like, here's the entire book. It's like, here's a crazy dream about how you're a Syrian. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks for that information. Here's how whales are telepathic and so are you. I was like, okay, thank you for that information. And then it's like, mic drop, your guides are like, peace out. I guess I'm gonna keep you on a need-to-know basis. Hey, do you know you have a massive connection to Egypt? Hey, a bunch of people are gonna tell you that you were alive in the time of Jesus for 1 year and then it's never gonna happen ever again. And you're like, okay, thanks. Thanks for the intergalactic information updates. I'm really good. Hey, the world is crazy. Let's do our best. You know how we do our best? We pray mantras. That's what I have found. Real talk. Okay. Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture, So. Let's do one more. I'd like to share with you my favorite mantra, which is Gate Gate, a Tibetan mantra at the end of the Heart Sutra. It's really, really, to me, it's very beautiful and very touching. It's, my hair's all over the place. Yeah, let's get wild. Good thing I've got these cameras. I'll never not be a feral elf. As much as I try to be a manicured priestess person, I will always have something like a leaf in my hair. It's very common. I don't know if any of you, I have a stellium in Sagittarius. It just is what it is, you know? Like people say, don't use your astrology as an excuse for your behavior. And I understand, you know, like, but astrology is pretty much like legit. It's like legit. And believe me, I would not, but I'm 42, y'all, and I want to share something about coming into your 40s. It really is true. Sean Korn, the yoga teacher back in the day, she taught me, she goes, I was like 33, I think, and she was like, wait till you come into your 40s. You're really not going to care anymore what other people think. And there's this like anchoring of self-acceptance that happens. So I've got 20 more years, I think, until the next initiation when we're in our 60s, that second Saturn return of women coming into their ferocity and their power. And this is another thing that I teach and that I do coaching and I work. And by the way, blah, 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 find me and all of that if you want to work with me one-on-one. And it's the wild, dark feminine and her power and how important it is. This world is what we need. We need our attunement to that. To honoring the sacred in all things and honoring the feminine, honoring the earth. Obviously it matters to me. You can see my heart while I speak. And to go a little bit into wisdom consciousness for a moment with this mantra, Gate Gate Paragate, Parasam Gate Bodhi Soha. It's about us letting go of the ego. The false separation that we all have to wear as we individuate in order to have lessons on our soul path, if that is the cosmology that you share. And when we do that, we must burn away all these identities that we think make us us. And we come into that bodhisattva, that place, that oneness of all things. So let us pray to that threshold, and may we cross it. Oh, Maria said, I love you on Insight Timer. Thank you. I love you too. Yeah. If anybody's new to me and they're just seeing me in this space, please find me on the internet and hang out with me in some way. Because it's a lonely road being on the cutting edge of consciousness, as Abraham Hicks says. Seeing oneness in all things when everyone else sees separation. Who else feels that, by the way? Give me some hearts on Insight Timer, or raise your hand if you're like, when are the people going to wake up? I thought we were going in that direction already. What happened? Who took the wheel? the drunk aliens, I think. Here, I'm going to take this off for a moment to make jokes. I think the drunk aliens or whatever happened, it was like, we were all like, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We're all like getting our groove on. Remember that? Like 2015, we were like, we got this. It's going to be awesome. Look at us. Social media, conscious media is going to change the world. And we're going to be able to put love in. And then it was like, hard left, everybody. Billionaires are going to take over the planet. And they're going to brainwash you. And people that you love are going to be fed false media that is going to make them nuts. And we're going to, even like people that you trust, and you're just going to have to be like, am I living in the matrix, like for real, for real? And you got to navigate it. You got to navigate it. And this is what the warriors of the light do. And we also keep our focus and awareness attuned to the infinite. Gate, in all of the universes. Be happy. And free of suffering. And may our actions in some small way or large contribute to the cessation of suffering for all beings. For all beings. May it be so. It must be so. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to open my door, which I usually have open. Can you hear the birds? They're having a party. They think we did a good job. Which is very important and really a grace, you know. It's a grace that, thank you, Kate, for bringing the space together. I really deeply believe that, you know, like I said, I channel and I teach and I share. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I'm grateful for the little bit of mastery that I've been able to do. But every circle that I gather is really in a very porous interface, meaning that it is made of the energies of those who are in the circle, your guides, your angels. And I have to say that this was pretty gangster, to use my South Florida 90s terminology. So I want to bow to all of you, everyone who is present right now, everybody who is listening, everybody who has this intention of world peace and to share, and that we have contributed to something together that feels very palpable to me. And so I bow to all of you in service who have come, because your abilities to be present, to receive, to tune in, allow me to be this vessel. That's what I talk about my work. These offerings are called voice as vessel, right? I am literally almost a reflection of what we have in the collective when we're here with each other. And it's an honor. It's a straight up honor. So thank you for reminding me of my Dharma. I'll do my business takeaway is I'm a badass healer and a coach and a guide and a mentor and a wise woman. And if you want an initiation that'll change your life, work with me one-on-one, real talk. If anybody who has done that before wants to share in the comments on Instagram, that's like, it's a real thing. And if not, I'm doing free workshops, I'm doing a voice thing, get on my email list, I'm doing all these things. Because it's the spring soon and the new year and it's all upon us. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. So Michelle Infinity on the internet, Michelle Coutinho, find me, and I love you and thank you for your witness. Aho.
Oh, good. It's so beautiful to have you in this space, to have you returning to this space and reflecting the energy, definitely, that I've been feeling as well, of all the people who join Oracle Mountain. Here, let me speak into my mic. That'll make it easier. Thank you. Basically, just singing your praises, and thank you for blessing this space with sound. It feels so important that we have more and more and more vibrational healing because it cuts through the intellect attempting to understand and brings us back to that place of remembering. And I just find that you do this in such a beautiful way. I have to share that Gate Gate is a song I sang in a choir as a child, and has a very sacred meaning because it was before I understood the depth of it, and it's revisited me many times throughout my journey. So just a personal appreciation and thank you for bringing that song to little Kate. I really needed that today. And thank you for Tara and for the warrior spirit and leadership, because that does feel like what's contained in this space here. So thank you just for so brilliantly opening up.
My honor. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Every time, anytime. And I will post, you can see Michelle's info. If you're watching this in the replay, you'll obviously see it posted below. But we'll also be sharing any offerings that you have in the Luminary Library Mystical Marketplace ongoing, because your work is beautiful and deserves to be shared and experienced. So thank you again.
So grateful. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Peace out. Have fun.
I love some gangster sound healing. That was great. Some OG vibrations for all of us to enjoy. So just going to do a little bit of a check-in, energy tap in, and just see how everyone's feeling in the room. We kind of have these moments just between speakers to take a bit of a breather. If that was bringing things up, if you feel like sharing, you can absolutely drop that in the chat below. Make sure you get up, move your body a little bit, stretch a little. I just checked on my calendar here. I noticed that it tells me I'm in 42.5 hours of meetings for the next 4 days. And it's so beautiful to be meeting with all of you and every one of these speakers. I hadn't done the calculations on the hours, though. That's pretty wild. And we'll check over on the YouTube as well, if any of you would like to join in, or if you're watching this and the time has already passed, then it could be that OracleFest is still going on and you'd be welcome to join into the circle. So it's just our morning session today after Andrea and after my brief session. We'll take a little break, so you can go take a little walk or something. The sun is still, it's just beginning to start coming down here in Madeira, but hopefully you still have some daylight where you are and can enjoy a little walk. I also loved the disheveled elf comment. That was great. Yeah, and it's interesting, Carrie Ann was saying in our chat here, the violet flame coming through, because I had actually lit a purple fire, like a violet fire, on Oracle Mountain just a few days ago, and in my work that I do to open up this space. And it's not surprising at all that Andrea Gomez and that Michelle Coutinho have both noticed and picked up on that. A brilliant thing, because I really didn't talk about that, but it's here anyway. So for any of you who are looking to gather more strength, energy, clarity, and intuitive openness, if you're seeking some deeper confidence in your intuition, this violet flame is here for you. If you're seeking healing for any matter at all, for any being on earth or beyond, the violet flame is open to you. And Mr. Toad is also here. I'm just croaking at my feet and was singing along actually with Michelle. So I think that's quite funny that this toad is not only transforming, but transmuting vibrationally through his croaking. So beautiful. I see that Andrea Menard is in the room. So if you are ready, I'm happy to bring you up to Oracle Mountain. So beautiful to see you. The energy is warm. The field is open. I'm sure you're sensing it as soon as you've arrived. We've only had the opening and then 2 speakers so far. So imagine me after 4 days. Maybe I'll just be buzzing. I'll just be a light form by the end of all this high vibration exposure. Thank you for being here.
Oh,
So Andrea is she's a multi-passionate person, which I really appreciate. I think many of our speakers are multi-passionate, but
Mm.
Andrea works with the divine feminine rising. And so with all of this creative openness, we talked about the path of creation this morning. We heard sound and vibrational healing calling us up to warrior and leadership and addressing the feelings that we have as light workers looking to give more to this world. And Andrea is talking about the divine feminine rising. So it feels very much of the same propelling and lifting energy. She is also an actress, a singer, and I'm sure that there are many things, and an Oracle deck creator, which I love as well. So we will have that all available to all of you to go look for. And Andrea, you're welcome to announce yourself and introduce yourself and take it away.
Well, thank you, Marcy, Kate. I am so honored to be on Oracle Mountain with you. And holy smokes, I walk into Michelle's Love Fest. Wow, what a voice, what a spirit. So usually what I do, I'm a Métis woman, which is, if you're not from Canada, Canada has 3 Indigenous peoples, and Métis people are one. We have First Nations people, Métis people, and Inuit people, and I come from the Métis Nation. So I'll introduce myself in the way I was taught, and then we'll proceed for our little gathering today. Tanchi Kiwa, Andrea Menard Deshnikashon. Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Menard, Ninshkotekwe, and Nia Uma Notagoyutin. My name is Firewoman in Anishinaabewan, and my Cree name, my Nehiyawa name, is Grandmother Wind. So I'm here to be of service to you. I know that the ancestors have been called in, but that's, my helpers in the spirit realm. I call them the grandmothers. I always make sure that I call them in. So I'm going to also bring some sound healing and sing a song. And it's called the 4 Directions Prayer. But it's so weird coming into such a high vibrational place. Usually I'm like using my energy to like bring everybody up, but you guys are good. Michelle did her work. Wow, I love it. I love her setup too. I went, oh, I don't know if my drum will sound that good. I'm like, dang, she's got to teach me. So, we have this old grandmother drum here. I'm grateful. Actually, before we do that, I almost forgot. Let's do a little smudge, shall we? So I know most people in this world know what smudging is, but in case you don't, this is the medicine of grandmother sage. There's many different styles of sage. This one is a grandmother sage, and she knows her job. She knows that she's here to help her human relatives to cleanse themselves, to clear energy away. And so even though I'm in my space in the unceded traditional territory of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam people, which is also known as Vancouver, Canada, I also know that our grandmother sage and our wisdom keepers that are helpers on this realm, they are okay with a little dimensional jumping. So wherever you are, and maybe you can put in the chat maybe where you are, wherever you are, grandmother sage can actually move into your room and cleanse you. So just invite her in. I won't say any names. I'm just going to have a little smudge here. I'm going to smudge my drum. Can't really see what I'm doing, but and I send this out to all of you, the listeners and the watchers in the present time and in the future time. May grandmother sage cleanse you and bless you. Okay, now I'll pick up my drum. So, make sure that this isn't just, is that okay? No feedback? Wow, you're from all over. It's lovely to see you. Okay, this is a song called Four Directions Prayer. And what I'm doing is I am greeting the four directions, the keepers of the four directions, the keepers of the east, the keepers of the south, the keepers of the west, and the keepers of the north. And as we stand in the center of that medicine wheel, it's like we're calling in and honoring them for the space that they allow us to create. Movement happens in this realm because of those special beings in those four directions. So just let that land for a second. And to recognize that the ancestors have been called, they've been welcomed in, and that they help us on this journey. They help us. When we ask for help, our ancestors are the ones that call, or whatever names you call in the spirit realm. Ancestors, angels, helpers, guides. You know, to me, they're all the same. The names, doesn't matter the names, but boy, we are helped. And one of the things that I do while I'm here, one of the things that I find, I lost you. Trying to move things around. There we go. One of the things that I like to do when I'm in spaces like this is just to remind us who we are. You know, one of the biggest problems that our little human species struggle with is we forget that we're sacred beings. And yes, we have been trained well to forget. Yes, we also as according to my indigenous teachers, that we are spiritual beings coming into human form to play in this human form right now, to play and to forget. But we're here to remember who we are. So this is the forgetful time, but we're here to remember who we are. And that's why you're here. That's why we come together. So how I do that, as Kate so lovingly introduced me, I'm here to help facilitate the rise of the sacred feminine. And those were words given to me by an elder that was having a gathering of elders in 2012. He's the late elder Dave Kershane from the Turtle Lodge in the Saugeen First Nation, and he was a great teacher. And we've lost a good man. But his teachings travel out into the world still, and he was the one that offered those words to me. So I'm here, and I will get into that a little bit later in a moment, but I want you to know that I'm here in this space for several reasons. I'm here to invite you to fall in love and adore your sacred feminine. Because if you have been born into this world, into this Western way of looking at the world, your sacred feminine has been devalued. And so this is an invitation to adore your sacred feminine. And maybe there's ways you didn't know how to do that. So I'm just going to help you and drop some ideas into this beautiful space on the mountain, on Oracle Mountain. So I'm going to help you understand it from an Indigenous point of view, because there's lots of different teachings about, even Kate said, the divine feminine, and I say the sacred feminine because it's just a bit different how I look at it, but it's absolutely the same, just maybe spoken in different ways. So I'm going to help you understand the Indigenous way of looking at it, or at least my Indigenous way of looking at it as a Métis woman. I'm also going to plant some seeds in the womb of the sacred feminine. And if you don't have a womb, then in the room of the sacred feminine. But there's also the enormous, the womb of creation itself, which everyone was birthed out of. And again, I'm going to help you find some ways to adore your sacred feminine. And before we do that, though, as we acknowledge the 4 directions, I also want to acknowledge, the medicine wheel is such a handy tool for Indigenous people. It's not necessarily a pan-Indigenous symbol, but it's very, very useful in helping understand the Indigenous worldview, which is that we see everything is equal, everything equal in on the drum. As my auntie taught me, she said every being has a place on the drum, in this big circle. Everyone has a place. And when we acknowledge that our place is sacred, but so is the being next to me, so is the being next to them, so is the being next to them, and that when we look at it as though we are all equal in a circle, then we start to get over ourselves and get over other people, because we are not any bigger and we're not any smaller than anyone else, but we are sacred. And the other way of looking at the medicine wheel is that, again, the 4 equi parts is there's 4 sacred directions. And this is other people have different ways of looking. There's 5 directions or 7 directions or 5 sacred elements. Well, to us, there's 4 sacred elements and us standing in the middle. And there's also the 4 sacred, the 4 sacred bodies. The physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body, which is what I work with a lot. And also the sacred elements. So you'll see that I have some fire here. I've got some water here that's been blessed. I had the sacred medicines, which to me represents the wind, because there's no wind or air. Well, there's always air around us. And the earths. And I have a stone here. I've got some crystals. So I'd like us to take a moment to just acknowledge the 4 sacred elements as well. They are our oldest relatives here on the planet. The oldest relatives. So let's just thank them for joining our circle. All right. So the rise of the sacred feminine that came out of my understanding that came out of the Turtle Lodge in Sagin First Nation. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story that brought this world into my view. It was around 1996, and there was a comet in the sky. Does it know? It might have been too early for some of you, but there was a comet. Halley's Comet was in the sky for months. And it was a time when a lot of people, a lot of my friends and relatives were in ceremony, were on the land fasting or in different types of ceremony on the land. And that summer, I had the most unusual meetings of many people coming in who had just come off their fast, and all over the country. I was traveling all over the country, trying to be an actress, trying to be a singer. I wasn't in ceremony, everyone else was. But for some reason, I would run into these particular lodge keepers or fasters, and they just within 2 weeks of them coming out of their fast, and they all had a message. And even though I didn't know it at the time, and I didn't know why they were all telling me, but they had relatively similar messages that didn't quite connect until later. But one of them said, he was a man that came out of a 4-day fast on the land with no food and no water. And he said, I was given a message that we're entering a time of woman. And I'm like, oh. And I didn't know what to make of it. So he's looking at me like, huh? And I'm going, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So I talk away. And then within another week, 2 weeks, run into person. And this is an elder who was on the land in a different territory, Nishnabemewin Métis man. And he said, I was told that the women are going to be leading the next era of humanity. I'm like, okay, that sounds weirdly familiar. Okay. And again, I tuck it away. And then one of the aunties, the grandmothers came out of ceremony, and she had said, I was told that we're going to be returning to the circle. That indigenous ways of knowing are going to be returning to the circle. People are going to be coming home to the circle. So all of these, I'm tucking away going, these sounds like prophecy. These are all prophecy. And, I literally tucked that behind me for 12 years or 15 years until I heard Elder Dave Gershane in this gathering of elders talk about the rise of the sacred feminine. And when he said that, everything, it's like something happened, it could be my pineal gland, something just went, and total understanding of what all those messages meant. And here we are in this time of the rise of the sacred feminine. And what I came to understand in that time was, nobody gets left out on this. In this prophecy, this is a time when the circle is being remembered, because the circle never left. Just our memory of it was superimposed with this other structure with a few powerful people at the top and everyone else at the bottom. That looks very different than a circle, but the circle is being remembered. The circle is being lifted into our consciousness again. And so from what the rise of the sacred feminine meant was that all things feminine are rising in value. All things feminine are rising in value. Because boy, oh boy, as a woman, my value for myself and all things connected to that feminine energy were deeply, deeply needing my self-worth. I thought my feelings were weak and messy and embarrassing. And as an emotional being, I did not appreciate how the world treated those either. So I treated myself that way. How we treat the Mother Earth. Look how we treat our Mother Earth, as though she's something to exploit and not a living, loving being that shows us what unconditional love looks like. and the animals, right? So all of these things that have been devalued and left out of the circle are coming home. And that means land-based peoples like Indigenous peoples' voices are rising. Black, people of color, all the things that have been left out coming home. Two-spirited, trans, non-binary people, their voices are rising because they have a deep teaching for humanity. And the voices of the animals, who's been speaking for the animals? The voice of the land. Oh, the land, Mother Earth. Her voice is calling each one of us home. But we're starting to listen. We're starting to hear her voice because she, as a being, is rising in value in a bigger way to the consciousness of humanity. And nurturing men have been left out of the circle. Nurturing men who have been listening and honoring their own inner wisdom, and who've been honoring the feminine and the women and the beings, the children and the grandparents in their lives. Those men have not been honored either. So we value them. That is rising in value too, where we look at them and we say, we hold our hands up and say, thank you, merci, miigwech kinenaskumten. And the voices of women. Yes. I mean, if you look, Kate here, she's hosting this. She created this world, this Oracle Mountain that we could come and gather in a sacred way. This is the rise of woman that was also prophesied. Not that women are taking over, it's just that women are sharing what we know. There's things that our inner bellies know that are coming. We're allowing our wisdom to take up space. And that's what's been missing. So our own value, knowing our own value, allows us to come forward into a bigger space. So thank you to Kate. I hold my hands up to you, my sister, for doing things like this. And I know every woman I know, in their way, their own value is starting to rise. And they're creating change on this planet. Whether you're in a position of leadership in the world or whether you're in a position of leadership in your family, your wisdom and the things you know are rising. So I hope that you are embracing that well. And if not, we're here to help you adore your sacred feminine. So I'm going to just share with you 4 ways. Moment. I'm going to share some sacred liquid. I'm going to help you understand the difference. Maybe even that's still an unusual term for you, is sacred feminine and sacred masculine. Maybe those are still, people go, well, that's male and female. No, it's not. It can be. But I have very, very strong masculine qualities. Very strong. And this world, with all our doing and activity and action, that is masculine part, which is why our world values doing so much. We value doing ourselves off a cliff. So we are in imbalance, where we're in this state of imbalance right now because the lack of value and the lack of love for the sacred feminine balancing. Because the qualities of the sacred masculine are things like action, logic, doing, structure, containment, determination, focus. Those are all incredible things. But when there's this moving forward movement, which is amazing for humanity, which is amazing for expansion, moving forward. But if we never stop to nurture what has been revealed to us, new space has opened up. But if we never stop to nurture it or notice it or care for it, then we just expand and conquer and, compete until there's nothing left. So that is where the sacred feminine qualities of nurturing, receiving, listening, feeling, caring for, those things are the balancing act. Those are the balancing act of qualities. And all of life shares these qualities. the cycle of a day. We have the day is very masculine. The night is feminine. The seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, feminine and masculine. I'll allow you to decide which ones are which. You know, there's quiet, there's activity, there's doing, there's resting. And every one of these things are valuable and important and deserve our love. But when, as a culture, we decide to value one over the other, that's when imbalance happens. So here we are in a state of imbalance because everyone's sort of bought in. And when women, who are the embodiments of feminine, you know, as men, there's many, many other ways of, so that's just a limited way of me saying it. But overall, women are the embodiment of the feminine energy. And so when women lose their sense of value for their own being, that's when we have work to do in honoring our own inner value. I know I had a long journey of doing that because most of us have survived in these structures that were created for the masculine because we had to. The structures exist for the masculine. So our masculine skills had to come forth and thrive in, and survive in these places. And in many ways, that's great. So many women have developed those skills to be of service, to be visible in this world. And that's important. And now that we're in these places of leadership, people like me had breakdowns like, nope. Okay, now you're here and you did it the masculine way. And now we're going to break down your body and your emotions are going to go crazy because you're here to do it differently. You are here to know how difficult it is to switch gears, to turn the value towards value for me. So, all of that to say, how do we adore the feminine? How do we bring our value to something that is innately within us, but taught to be devalued in the world? Well, we go to the ultimate source of the sacred feminine. We go to the earth. We go to the mother. We go to our mama. Beautiful mama. We connect to something alive. Here we are. We're in these little boxes. We're in these spaces that give us so much value and give us so much opportunity to connect with one another. But oh my, we are in these spaces in boxes, in artificial light and artificial everything around us. So we have to, because we don't live in amongst the elements so much anymore, because all peoples from no matter where you came from a land-based people. At some point on the planet, you came from land-based people. It may be longer and further back in your lineage, but I invite you to remember those and connect to those ancestors. But we're all land-based people, and when we lived amongst the living things and the elements, we were a healthier people. Now we have to remember to go out and connect with the elements. We have to remember, we have to decide to. We have to decide to go out for a walk in the rain or the snow, wherever you are. We have to decide to. So my invitation is that you put it in your path. You put it in your decision. You put it in your daily routine. And I know there's so many moms out there who are, you are loaded to the teeth. So you are I'm going to honor moms for a moment. You are the last ones to be able to care for yourselves because you're caring for everybody else. So I invite you to do your best. And maybe if you're in an office or if you're running, you bring in the fire. You bring in some medicines, you bring in a plant, you bring in the water, you bring in alive things around you and acknowledge them. Allow them to be around you and in your home. And also take 5 minutes and go out and stand by a tree Take 5 minutes, and maybe you're on the way to the bus, on your way to work, or on your way of dropping your kids off at the bus or dropping your kids off at school. Stop on the way, have 5 minutes in a park and listen to the birds. Because isn't that what Michelle asked us to do? Michelle, right before us, she opened her door and got us to listen to the birds. Just noticing is profoundly important, profoundly important. So connect to the land. Recognize the relationships that the natural world offers you. Do you know how many relatives are wanting your attention? The birds that come into your path are probably messengers for you if you listen and if you open up the conversation. Or that squirrel, or the deer that walks by, or the hummingbird, or the coyote. I saw a coyote the other day. I'm like, okay, trickster. What's going to happen? Eyes up, Andrea, eyes up. Who's coming across my path, or something's not going to work out the way I think it is. So just laugh. Coyotes coming across your path. So when you create relationships with the natural world, you will all of a sudden realize you're not alone. You'll feel supported by beings that you had no idea were standing around, basically holding you in the circle. So your awareness, the only thing it's been waiting for is your awareness. Your awareness is everything. You have to decide to make connections with the natural world. And when you do, I promise you, when you allow yourself to be loved by the unconditional love of the natural world, your life will change. You will feel your ability to adore the sacred feminine will grow, because Mother Earth is the quintessential sacred feminine. The next thing, another way to help you adore your feminine, is to allow yourself to feel. Oh, baby. We live in this Western culture that is terrified of feelings. And it is taught all people, all genders, all beings to stuff those feelings away. But I have discovered, and I'm an actress and I'm a singer, so feelings are my tools. And I was not any better at them than, anyone else. I had to learn how to connect with my feelings. I had to even learn what they were. I didn't know what was going on. They were so disconnected from my understanding that I had to say and make a commitment to learn. But they taught me, the feelings themselves taught me that they are wisdom keepers. Oh, wisdom keepers. And wisdom keepers means that they have great wisdom for you. When I was developing my own sacred bodies and making sure my bodies were healing, my emotional body, I was so annoyed with it because I was crying all the time and I was raging and I was out of control. I had emotional breakdowns where I couldn't leave my house for 3 days. And I was just so annoyed about it. But instead, it was probably great because I had the breakdown that I was finally surrendering. And I said to the grandmothers, okay, I'm going to learn about my emotional body. And they whispered back to me, they said, oh, grandchild, if you're going to learn about one, you have to learn about all four because they're all connected. And I had no idea what that meant. But in that process, each of the four sacred bodies gave me a sacred law. And the emotional body, which is what we're talking about right now, expressing your feelings, is that your feelings are a language. They're a sacred language. And humans are like we're toddlers just beginning to learn how we speak our first language, English for me, or French or Anishinaabe or whatever it is your language is. We struggle to learn. We struggle to say the words. So as humans, we're actually at that space where we're toddlers learning the language of feelings. And here's the one that might be a clincher for you, is that feelings don't speak English or French or Anishinaabe or whatever your first language is. They don't speak English. This blew my mind, because what do we want to do as soon as a feeling arises? We want to talk about it. We want to talk it away. We want to put words on it, when all it needs is expression. The language of feelings is expression. Just let that sink in for a moment. The language of feelings is expression. And of course, this world has not allowed us to express our emotions. Our families, our schools, there was no place for emotional expression. And so now our expression becomes really exaggerated and really messy and really inconvenient, because it's so suppressed that when it comes out, it's like it takes us out at the knees and probably takes out everyone else out in the room with us. And that's not how a balanced human looks like. That's not really how it's supposed to be. Humans are like, how we begin this world, like babies. They cry with their entire being. They breathe with their entire being. They sob and cry with their entire being. They laugh with their entire being. They howl and rage with their entire being. And somewhere along the line, that becomes unacceptable. But I promise you that when you give permission and learn how, some people have to learn how. So go to therapy, or, I have a course called Honoring the Four Sacred Bodies, but find ways to help if this is not one of your ways. But learn how to express your feelings. And I promise you, on the other side of expression, then the words come. Then the understanding comes. Then the wisdom goes, oh. But if we try and get the wisdom before the feelings, it's not going to happen. Because true wisdom and relief and solace and peace comes from a body after it has been expressed, after agitation has been expressed. So that's my invitation to you. Express your feelings. And one last thing I want to say. No, not on Oracle Mountain. Another day. Okay. Another thing is to create the relationships with the four sacred elements. And as you said, so I want you to just hearken back to what I did at the beginning, is that we acknowledged the fire, we acknowledged the water and the wind and the earth. And I invited them into this space with us, because I'm in an artificial space too. So when you surround yourself with and acknowledge the four sacred elements, because like I think I said in the beginning, these are our oldest relatives. These are our very first ancestors as we came into this human form. And that means we're all connected, because those were every single human on this planet. We were birthed from the earth and the fire and the water and the wind. They are our oldest relatives. So when you can't abide thinking of, somebody else's way of looking at the world, remember that they're your relative. They came from the same place you did. It's humbling. But they also soothe us. We are made of these things. So when we ask the fire and the water and the wind and the earth to soothe us, they know their role too. They can help us with that. So maybe as you're sitting here for the rest of your couple of days, when you're in this incredible space with Kate and all the incredible speakers, maybe surround yourself with some of the four sacred elements. Make sure you have a candle or a plant, or some stones, some gems, some medicines. Open a window, unless it's minus 40. But, even then, as Kate said, go outside, go do things that connect you. So create a relationship with the four sacred elements. I promise you, once again, Your ability to adore your sacred feminine is that you're allowing yourself to be soothed by the invisible realm. And the sacred feminine, we are the great mystery. That sacred feminine part of us lives in the great mystery. It is the unknown part of us. So when we invite that mysterious part of life, that invisible realm, into relationship with us, we are learning to adore our feminine. Okay. And the last one is a little exercise. I'm going to take us on a journey together. You up for that? We are going to go into the lodge of creation. And so as I talk about that invisible realm, that realm of the mysterious, or you can call it I call it the womb of creation, which is the thing that all of life was birthed out of. And for some silly reason, humans are going, this table is real, this microphone is real, knock, 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 this computer is real, right? Anything we can see, touch, taste, and feel and smell is the real, but everything else outside of that is not. So that's also why the feminine has been devalued, because a lot of the feminine qualities are in that invisible realm. And so a place like Oracle Mountain, which is all in the heart, it's all in that wise mind. We have to go into the imagination, into the space of the feminine in order to access it. So we're going to take you into that space, and we're going to help you get used to this space. Now, I'm going to be talking about a womb of creation or a lodge of creation, but anyone here who does not have a womb, whether you are male body or non-binary body that do not have a physical womb in your body, please know this is for you too. But the languaging is to help you find adoration for that invisible creative space. So this is for everyone. And you'll hear me say it several times. It could be womb or room of creation. But just know this is for you. All right. Now take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold for 4. And out on a sigh. Another deep breath in through the nose. Hold for 4. And out on a sigh. Another deep breath in through the nose. Hold for 4. And out on a sigh. And I invite you to just sit with your spine as straight as possible and allow your head to maybe bobble on the top of your head. Relax your jaw. Relax your hands so they're not in fists. And just breathe. Put your hands on your belly as though you are connecting with the most sacred place on your body. You may have a womb there. You may not. Either way, there is a space within you that is a wild, dark, nourishing, open, creative space that is tied to creation itself. And with your eyes closed, just feel your belly. An empty space that lives right within your body, safe, nestled in the darkness, like a fertile garden, waiting to be planted. A womb or a room. A place where darkness is sacred, not scary. Where darkness has a loving energy. The energy of the mother. The ultimate healed maternal source of creation. What is your relationship with this dark, empty place, this sacred lodge? If you have a womb, has this place birthed children, ideas, intuition? If you do not have a womb, has this place birthed projects or inspired gut instincts? Take a moment to appreciate the sacredness of this dark and nourishing space, this empty lodge. And send this fertile lodge your gratitude. And again, it doesn't matter if you have a physical womb there or not, because you are going to widen your inner vision out now. Widen out. Allow that inner vision to widen out, and imagine that you could enter this dark, safe, creative lodge. What does it look like? Is it vast like the universe? Or so cozy it feels like a sweat lodge? Or so small and cozy that feels like you're wrapped in a papoose on your mother's back? Is this space made of stars? With wide open space and planets and stars? Or is it made of earth? With skins holding it in place? With medicines everywhere? Maybe it's a mountain. Maybe it's made of color. So widen out. Maybe you notice there is light. Where's it coming from? What does it look like? What do you see? Forests? Oceans? Mountains? Meadows? Streams? Colors? What do you hear? Wind? Water running? Birdsong? Choirs singing? What about this lodge makes you feel good? And follow that gratitude. As your inner eyes gaze over the beautiful beauty of this space, what plant people or stone people are there with you, or medicines? And wherever they are, maybe there's a perfect spot to sit or lie down. As you sit in this perfect resting space, notice a ripple in the quiet, as though something is trying to catch your attention. Follow it. Listen. What is it? A voice? A smell? A song? A memory? A direction? A gift? What does it seem to be saying? If this ripple were a message for you, what would it be? Receive this message. Receive it. And know that the wisdom lives here. Receive the wise message from the Lodge of Creation. Feel the wisdom, the warmth, the love. And once you receive and understand the message, say a prayer of gratitude. Feel the gratitude for the wisdom given to you from the Mother of Creation. Feel the gratitude and the beauty. As you get ready to leave this lodge of creation, this sacred space, take one last good look around. Take in the beauty. Feel the warmth and safety. And know that you may visit here anytime. This is your sacred space. This is your fertile, creative, nourishing lodge. This lodge lives within you. And whether you have a physical womb or not, your lodge is part of your feminine power and connection to creation. Remember that the only place you need to go on ceremony days like new moon or full moon or solstice or equinox is inside. You are the place of sacredness. You are the place where ancient wisdom lives. Remember this. Remember who you are. And when you return to your physical body and open your eyes, the knowledge and the message you received is fully integrated into your heart and your mind. And you return. And you can blink your eyes open. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And out through your mouth. Okay. So we're coming to a close, and I have one little song left for you that usually has like a million voices. But maybe you'll hear it in that invisible realm. Maybe you'll hear the other voices singing. But this song is a song called Mahikan Katauyu. And in my mind, it helps. It helps incorporate all the teachings I gave today in a way to adore our feminine, to connect to the land, to express your feelings, to connect to the four sacred elements, and connect to the lodge of creation. All of those ways to adore the feminine, to me, are captured in this song, because this is a song called, it's a wolf healing song, Mahikan Katauyu, the wolf will howl. And what I'm saying in the Nehiawan language is, let go of all that you carry. No, sorry, that's the second one. The first one is, let yourself feel. So, express your feelings. Let yourself feel. The wolf will howl. The wolf will howl. Let go of all that you carry. The wolf will howl. The wolf will howl. And let Mother Earth comfort you. The wolf will howl. The wolf will howl. So again, connect to the earth. The wolf itself, the song of creation, singing its song, is reminding you to howl, to feel your feelings and let your own sacred voice be heard. And the land and the wolf are our brothers and sisters. So, here we go. Mahikan kita you. Oh you, oh you, oh you, oh you, Yahweh, Yahweh, oh you. Pagatita kanayatamin mahikan kita uyu mahikan kita uyu oh you oh you Yahweh Kikawino kanatawimik mahikan kita uyu mahikan kita uyu oh you oh you Yahweh Just take a moment to let that sink in. Because that's also part of adoring our sacred feminine in this time of the rise of the sacred feminine, is to allow integration time. We usually bombard ourselves with information and sounds and light and knowledge, but when do we stop and allow all that to just land in our bodies and minds and spirits? So thank you, my loves. Merci, miigwech, kinenaskumten. I'm so grateful to share this space with you. And I hope that we will see each other again on Oracle Mountain someday. I love you. Merci.
Thank you. Deep, deep, deep thank you, Andrea. I can tell everyone is resonating. I felt everyone sort of do this low buzz when we all join in one sort of moment, one frequency. And your sound is also very healing, very important for these times. So you brought just the right messages through. Very, very thankful. And I'll have all details and things getting thanks in the comments as well. So I'm so glad you got to experience Oracle Mountain, and we will have you back again.
I love you. I'm grateful. Kate, you take time to integrate all the massive wisdom and joy and glory that's going to be coming at you these 4 days. You audience members, you're amazing. You remember to take time to integrate. I love you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We are actually having a little integration moment. I just have a couple more story visions to share, a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to take a half-hour break. So it's actually so perfect. We'll just keep in the vibrational field and we'll circle back. So doing a little check-in again, seeing how we're all feeling. Of course, after this little chat from me and finalizing some of this, these other housekeeping bits, showing you what Oracle Mountain has to offer in this space, I'll be closing the YouTube live. So then we're all in this container for the rest of the day together, which is lovely. It's nice to have folks watching on YouTube, and it's also nice to keep our, container sealed here and see what more magic and sharing wishes to come through. So first, I wanted to share a little vision that I'd received from my ancestors within this past month. So it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe. I went down to the ocean. So again, I'm in Madeira Island off the coast of Morocco at the moment. It's a Portuguese island. And so if you can picture it, it's all very hilly, and all the town, this city is like all built up onto this like steep upward incline. And all of these, copper, bronzy, orangey colored roofs everywhere. And so many. And you can just see it because the perspective often, I mean, I'm from Ontario, and often I'm from a flatter part of Ontario where, you're just sort of looking across fields, or you can't quite get a perspective of all the people living in a city like that. So I was sitting down by the water. Here, let me make it so you guys can hear me better. I gotta remember to keep bringing my microphone here. So I was sitting along the water. I was writing to my ancestors, a practice that I was introduced to by Dr. Stephen Farmer last year during OracleFest, because he spoke about putting his feet on the ground every morning and typing and allowing the voice of teacher or ancestors to come through. And I think maybe because I'm on the computer so much, I really enjoy this in a notebook practice. So I invite you either way, whatever way feels comfortable for you. You could even draw or doodle or paint or something. I was sitting there asking my ancestors about my path. Of course, building OracleFest is no small feat. As you can imagine, there's a lot of moving parts to it. And so it's quite a solo journey in some ways, just holding the idea together, but it's not, in that we're so connected by all the speakers, by the support that I definitely do receive, and by the visions, my guides and everything, by Mr. Toad. We've got all of these energies supporting, and yet there's still this uncomfortable feeling. And I wrote down this idea that Michelle brought through, which was that it is a lonely road on the cutting edge of consciousness, right? And she brought that through from Abraham Hicks, I think she said. And I think all of us are on this cutting edge of consciousness within our lives, and can resonate with this sense of sometimes it does feel isolating, or it does feel lonely. And so this is a message from my ancestors about that exact feeling, about this warrior heart, this light spirit part of us, and the feeling of loneliness or isolation that can come along with it sometimes. And so I was looking at the city and everything, again, built up onto this hill, all these homes. I was thinking about all the different people. This is funny because I was thinking about all the different people in all these homes, and how a lot of them probably could use something like OracleFest, because I'd seen a lot of really downtrodden people on my walk down to the water. There was people on drugs nearby me, and there was a lot of folks who seemed to be quite worn out by life in general. And I think a lot of folks in general are feeling worn out, whether you can see it clear on their face or not right now. The amount of hospitalizations and emergencies and deaths that I've heard about in the last 2 weeks feels like it's spiked way more than normal. I don't know how these stats work, but this is what I feel and sense happening around, and absurd and horrible things also happening. And so I looked at all of these homes, and I thought about all the different people in all these different homes, how many different people are living all these different lives, and just how cool it would be if one day there's people in Madeira who have heard about OracleFest and join it, right? Like this idea of what if this global movement of awakening inner oracles reaches even, seemingly isolated islands in in the middle of the ocean. And then there was this very dark cloud, this mist, like a gray storm sweeping over from the mountains, like sweeping over across the whole city. And so it looked like it was under darkness. And as I continued gazing across all these homes, there was a tiny part of the island and land which was untouched. And that was the only place there was a patch of sunlight. So it was this little green edge of the island. You can picture it, all these orange houses and all these stacked on top of each other, all this gray coming over, and then this one little patch of sunlight. I kind of chuckled to myself because I knew my ancestors were up to something by like timing this appropriately and showing me this message right at this time. And they said, well, maybe I'll read it because my book's right here. I'll read exactly what they told me here and get some accuracy going. Don't want to misspeak on behalf of my ancestors, It's funny. I think they have a lot of similarities to me, of course, right? So there's this moment where they go off course, telling me something, like making sure I know something, and then they say, "Now back to your question." So now back to your question. Where once there were great rolling cliffs and mountains, we now send you the imagining of whole cities upon them. Some one, some many, at many points in history, needed to gaze upon these lands and imagine their children's children living in homes better than theirs for this to all happen. And so we show you the sun on untouched land. You are an intrepid explorer, dear child, and so you gain confidence, in fact, by doing what has not yet been done. And same for each of you in your lives. By leading the pack boldly and with your heart forward facing, we are showing you the rumblings of panic. But frankly, you need to trust us. All of this has been done, and everything we see on earth has been created with a grain of hope, right? So even that which we now see could be destructive or could be overwhelming. Everything has been created with the idea of hope, and hope in the future beyond the scene, right? Everything that we are doing in this space, I believe, is holding space for many generations past ourselves to inspire hope that humanity may connect to their deeper hearts, our most expansive spirits, to trust our intuition and to trust in community and community support, and to be listening with our hearts wide open. It's an uncomfortable journey. So my ancestors reminded me, it's not comfortable to walk with your heart facing forward and not know who's with you or who's behind you. Is anyone following? Sometimes we don't know. And it's scary because we're looking into what is not seen yet, that cutting edge of consciousness. And it can feel isolative, but that discomfort is part of the path of building entire cities, or whatever it is you're meant to be doing, building entire cities, empires, huts, yurts, whatever scale and scope that you're here to do. It spreads the light. And as I received this message, I kid you not, like it looked like the mist was almost retreating back up the mountain. The clouds started to shift as time went on. People smiled at me on my walk back up the hill. So whether you feel like you are on a downhill, run or an uphill climb right now in your life, my ancestors very much wanted to bring this message through. The discomfort is a part of the journey when your heart is facing forward and you are leading the pack. And each of you are light leaders in your own right, in your own ways, and all of your unique ways. This toad thing is really funny. This is going to keep making me laugh. They don't always sit with me as like a present spirit. Sometimes I'm receiving messages from animals more in ether space, or I go visit them to check in and kind of come back. Toad feels like it's, we're here. He's chilling with me. He'll be at my feet all weekend, I think. And he's sort of like chirping along, like real happy at this moment. So I'm just going to keep giving you toad updates. I hope you guys don't mind. And I would love to know if you're feeling any spirits or presences coming through, because as I mentioned, that violet flame, the purple flame, we've already had it introduced by other speakers. I didn't even get to it yet, which is great. I love that. Always at Oracle Mountain, when there's a gathering, there's a fire. My shamanic name is Fire Warrior, so I couldn't have anything but that. There are also other places to reach into and connect to the elements, and also to galactic realm from Oracle Mountain. Being at a peak, we're so much closer to the sky. And so there's a lot of this etheric connection. So I welcome you to explore your version and your understanding of Oracle Mountain at any point. You can use this space anytime you like. It is open to you. You have joined it. And it's a space that has given me so much over the last year and a short while. Like year and a half, maybe, from bringing images through to finally bringing an event through. And so I feel like it's a place that can continue to feed us, just like with Andrea showing us the womb space and this space to return to. There's like all these really realms and areas that we could, in our mind's eye and in our third eye, perhaps, go drift to. So a few more housekeeping matters, which is if all of you have just sort of super excitedly entered the Zoom room and not looked at the page for the live event, we do create spaces also in this virtual way for us to go explore. I'm just making some final adjustments and will continually be adding to the Mystical Marketplace and the Luminary Library. So you will see little changes happening there over this next break, and it'll probably be done by the break. But what you can see when you look at the event page, so if you log in right now to OracleFest, you'll see the live event page. So it should kind of pop up as soon as you log on. And what you'll see is the Zoom links at the top. And then you'll see, what's the first thing here? I'm just loading it myself. Okay, so we have the Zoom room links and then the Tree of Wisdom. The Tree of Wisdom was one of the early journeys that I was at on Oracle Mountain. And this Tree of Wisdom, you can totally picture it in the voice of the Lord of the Ring Ent creatures, these tall tree creatures. I love a good tree moment. I feel like talking to trees has been a huge part of my journey since my early 20s. And actually, when I look at it, it really was a part of my childhood. I used to wait for the school bus in the wintertime in Canada underneath a tree, and it felt like it was like a protector of me. And I definitely cried over losing a birch tree in our front yard when I was also a child. So the trees have definitely been a part of my journey, very much with me. This Tree of Wisdom is for all of us. And so what you'll see is actually when you click the Tree of Wisdom, there's a deck of cards. And so you can shuffle the deck, you can ask a question, you can go back as many times as you like, and the Tree of Wisdom will deliver some keywords, some concepts, but you can also look at the cards at the bottom of the screen and read more about the trees as well. So there's information about the different trees and their symbology, different meanings from different cultures, and how they look, how they work. So this was a really fun project to bring through last year. I have an imagining of how it gets even cooler and even more immersive. So you can just all stay tuned as the year goes on, because the Tree of Wisdom will likely make a return. And I may or may not get one of my Scottish friends to do the voice for it, because I just think that'd be awesome. I need to find one of my Scottish male friends and get this booming, booming supportive voice. So you can look forward to our Tree of Wisdom expanding. But I have certainly pulled a few cards myself in order to open up the space as well. So I invite you to do that. Let us know what you're receiving, if it's helping you, and you can continually ask questions as the time goes on together. We also have the Luminary Library and the Mystical Marketplace. So you might have noticed that I call the speakers luminaries. I like the idea of not even using the word speaker at some point, but to not keep it confusing, I keep saying luminary speaker. But it feels like they're all bringing their light, right? Like we have all received a bunch of light so far. We've only had 3 speakers so far. And so all of this light and illumination that we're receiving, some of them are giving free resources. And so I made the Luminary Library as a way for us to showcase to you some of our speakers' free resources, which is why I'm looking at some of them. Some of them haven't done the form quite yet, because it's obviously been some wild energy the last few weeks. So what I'm doing is adding more. That's why you'll see some updates. So the Luminary Library is for anything free resources, and I will be making this page public after our event, because I just don't see why we should wait till once a year or only when we do an event to be able to access this. So anytime you want to come back and explore some of these free offerings, that's what the Luminary Library is for, your own illumination. And then the Mystical Marketplace is for any and all paid offerings. So if you hear something that a speaker is talking about and you really like the idea of taking their training or buying their album or their Oracle decks, right? That is where you would find that, the Mystical Marketplace. Marketplace for shopping, library for borrowing information. It makes sense. And then here's a really big piece, which I did not mention in the opening ceremony, but does feel really important, which is why I wanted to do it before we went on a break. Last year, it was just OracleFest because I didn't know that it was going to turn into be a whole thing that I now feel very charged with continuing and expanding. And it's like a whole ecosystem empire for all of us to share, not a emperor empire, but something that all of us can share and be a part of. So I didn't have a theme necessarily for it, but it did feel like there were certain things kind of coming through. And one of the things was the Fire of the Phoenix. So I've brought back the Fire of the Phoenix. If you go visit it, what you'll see is it's a PDF of reflective questions. So you might start these now. I will ask one question from the Fire of the Phoenix before we go do our reflection. I'll also add them in between some of our sessions. Now, our morning was, or beginning, our first part of the sessions here was very art, creative, expansive sound, right? It really feels like, okay, we just had a big opening ceremony is what it feels like to me, invitations for what is to come. And then we might also have sessions that bring up something challenging or that are like a real practice. So I'll keep adding these reflection questions in between. And the Fire of the Phoenix is what sits at the center. So I lit it with this purple flame. All these speakers are bringing in the violet flame energy. The Phoenix rising feels like our overall theme for this year. So to me, this year is the year of the Phoenix rising. And for next year, I'll call it a year of something else, whatever comes through. And just to show you the amount of intention and story that gets woven into all of these events. This is why I say it's not a boring summit. There's lots of little fun things to do. There's lots of creative places to take in your mind. And we have a very unique, not only gathering of luminary speakers, but a unique structure as well because of the live readings as well. And the fact that so many of our speakers really want to bring an experience through for you. So you can approach the Fire of the Phoenix, continue to reflect on these different questions. It's a fire that allows us to be transformed over the course of this time together. So if you are missing a bunch of sessions, I can see that a lot of you are like, okay, we're here. But of course, if you have to dip out because life calls and you want to keep the fire going, you could always ask yourself these questions before you go to sleep. And then when you join us tomorrow, you're caught up, right? So we're going to go through one of these PDF pages per day. There's 4 pages. So we will do that. And the other piece says that are in there is the full schedule at the bottom of the page. So I've sent that out in emails, but it's also at the bottom of the page if you're curious what's coming next. And like I say, there are a couple changes. Of course, right now was meant to be Light Language with Kirsty Lauren. We're going to see if we can find another spot for her to be able to come and join us. If not, she will be at future OracleFest events. She absolutely loves OracleFest and brings beautiful heart activations and multidimensional thinking to our space. So we come back in, 45 minutes to listen to Anna Froelich. Anna Froelich has also been in the room with us and communicating. And so you might have already felt her energy and seen her. So she'll be leading us when we come back in about 45 minutes. But before that, there's one other thing that I wanted to share on this page, which is the Collective Omen Calendar. Now, this is a new project. This is only something that we've opened up in the last month. And there's been a lot going on this month. So it's not easy to see with all the different promotions going on the feeds. And, I didn't want to only talk about the Collective Omen Calendar and not invite you all to this event. So I'll talk about it as the year goes on as well. I thought, how cool would it be if we all gathered all of the attendees as well? So anyone who's in the room, because I honored that inner oracle within you just the same as I honor the luminary speakers and what they are bringing. They simply have torches that they've been feeding and fueling and expanding and growing their communities for some level of energy that is resonant with OracleFest right in this moment, right? There's really no other difference. We all have this inner oracle and insight and intuition. And I really do respect that. And I want to find ways where we can come together and share that communally But it would be hard to just listen to everyone say that if there's 100 people in the room, for example. So we kind of have to think a little bit different. How can we do this? Easier today, just today, but by next year, I don't think that's going to be as easy. So what about if every month or every beginning of the year, you give us what you intuit and you predict or prophesize or you feel might be coming for each of the months as the year goes on? So then we have this collective calendar of our insights, prophecies, predictions, keywords, emotions, themes, whatever is coming up for us. And so my dream is that at any point over this weekend or the next week, that you go and fill in this collective omen calendar for whatever you know so far, basically. Even Kirsty and I were talking that she's like, I can't even reach past 6 months right now. There's something really shaking up in 6 months, and I'm not able to sense into that. Fine, fill in the first half. You can come back later in the year and fill another half. I'm not going to judge how many times you come back to add different things. It's the idea of us continually putting these insights into a field and then being able to see ahead with our whole community collectively. I can put out, okay, February, this is what we're feeling so far. These are what the themes are that we see. And over time, we're going to also be able to see repeat themes and be able to adjust to say, this is coming through extremely strongly, or everyone had something like this, or this animal showed up more often than everyone else. Like, how cool will that be when we have that as like a system running? And it's a nice check-in for you. Sometimes life goes by, we forget to just process our own intuitive insights. So we do have a Omen Day prophecy planner that you can also add your own things into. Carrie Ann really helps me with making it so beautiful, which is so nice to get that help. And she also helps make our replays look beautiful, which is a really important admin support task for me. There's really only so much that I can do as one person on a computer all the time. So the collective omen calendar is there. You can submit your monthly insights, and then we'll keep announcing as the year goes on, reminders and things for you to take part and for you to also check out. We'll share it on our social media, what the month looks like ahead. Very exciting, very exciting. So if anyone has any questions, concerns, if you are looking for information from a speaker, we don't have that in the Luminary Library Mystical Marketplace yet, just let us know, because we might have it hiding somewhere that we could go find, that's not on the main gathering space. And what I would love to invite is that you find some nourishment, some space for yourself, that you use this next 30, 40 minutes, because as I mentioned, there's like 42 and a half hours of this whole event and not a lot of breaks. And I really did want to add more breaks, but I also really wanted to bring all these speakers to you. So one thing had to win over the other. Now is a good time for you to go take a walk, for you to find a grounding meal, take some time in silence, maybe do some of that reflecting or check out some of these different resources. Ask the tree a couple questions if you have some questions, and I will stop our sharing to YouTube. We will meet again in the next 35 minutes. Wow. The next 35 minutes or so. And we will see you at the top of the hour. Maybe come back a couple minutes before, just so that you're settled and ready for us to hear from Anna Froelich of Wonderland Publishing. So enjoy. It's really a pleasure to be in this space with you, and we will see you when we get back.